Hello Year 5 and welcome to your first French lesson for this term. So we are going to be looking at something slightly different as well as recapping the work we looked at last term. So our topic that we're going to be looking at for our French this week is la gastronomie française. Now you may be thinking, I don't know what that means, and it's clearly a French word. But actually, this is one of our French and our English words, okay? So what it means is it means to practice the art of choosing, cooking and eating good food. So we're going to be looking at some conversational techniques around French food this term. So this is what it's going to look like across the term. So we're going to be starting on our first lesson of how do I say French words properly. So we're going to be recapping some of our phonemes and graphemes that we looked at last term. I'm going to introduce some new ones to you today. I'm not going to introduce them all because I think I might blow your brains a little bit. We're going to introduce some new ones. Now you know that these videos have sound buttons. So for not wanting to give you the wrong pronunciation of words, just because we're not in class and it might be difficult to hear on the video, we're going to use the sound buttons on here to help us today. Some of them I've managed to pre-record for you, okay? So let's have a quick retrieval practice. Now I know you all recognise these pictures, and I know you're all thinking about that tapping game on the board that we've played where Keaton just dominated the entire French thing, and Yazan for that matter, as our French king, okay? I would like you to jot down in front of you in your book to identify the phoneme and the grapheme which corresponds to each one of these images. So we know that each video, or rather each picture, has a sound that goes with it. Now the additional challenge I would like you to do is I would like you to have a go at answering these two questions here. So this first one is what's special about the letter H in the French language. Let's see if you can remember. And why do we have to be careful with the letters C, F, L and R? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, pause the video, and can you write down what the group of letters are for the sounds for those 8 things? And then I would like to have a go at answering those 2 questions for me. Okay, so the first one for number 1, okay, is K. Okay, listen to that. Okay, the second one is The third one, okay, it's that that's that weird sound like a swan would make. And then we have I. Okay, it's a short I. Okay, very, very short sound there. Then our fifth one, this is a hard one. You've got to really use the back of your throat for this one. Okay. Well, we all know what this one is. Ooh. Wah. Okay, but like a baby. Wah. So that one almost sounds a bit similar. Okay, you just have to be very careful. Okay. Let's see if you got the answers to the other 2 questions. We will look at the other 2 ones in a minute. I'm going to introduce some new sounds to you. So well done if you got those ones. Let's add some new ones in here. Okay, so these pictures are going to help you. Okay, so this is our first one. Shh. Okay, let's have a look at this sound. Zh. Zh. Okay, so something like the sound from the car. Okay, let's have a look at these ones here. So this is going to sound like the honking of a horn. Okay, this is your clown sound here. Okay. Okay, so it comes from the back of your throat a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few seconds to have a look on the screen, matching the pictures with the sounds and their phonemes, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the next slide, and you need to see if you can write down what the phonemes or the graphemes are for our 3 words. Okay, so I'm going to give you 10 seconds to look at them now. Okay, I'm going to switch slides. Are you ready? Okay, right, can you write down for me what the missing sounds are for those 3 pictures? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's go through the answers. So number 1, we've got a zh sound, okay? Zh. Number 2, we've got a sh sound, sh. And number 3, we've got a sound, sound. Okay, well done if you got all 3 of those correct. So I'm going to teach you a few more sounds now, okay? So we'll start off with this one here. Ooh. So it's almost a sound like a monkey makes. That picture's going to help with the sound. So I've got an ooh sound. Oh, we sure know this one. Zzz. Now it's quite a long z, it's not a z sound, it's not very short, it's quite long. Let's listen again.
Z.
Z, okay? So it's right between the teeth, right at the front, okay?
Z.
Okay, this is important to listen to this one.
E.
E. Okay, so it's not an E or an S sound, it's an E sound. A bit like when you're saying ear, but it's an E.
E.
E. Okay, and that's almost like that hand gesture that goes with it. Okay, so same thing again. I'm going to give you the 10 seconds to have a look so you can memorize what the graphemes and phonemes are for these three words. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next slide. Are you ready? See if you can remember what they are. Off you go. Pause the video. Can you write down the missing sounds to match my pictures? Okay, so the first one is okay, so like an sound. Number 2, we've got our z sound, z, so our long z sound. And then we have a I sound, okay, not my E or my E, but my sound, a bit like ear, okay? So, I know that was very short and very brief, but what I would like to do is make sure you keep practicing those sounds throughout the week, because those sounds are going to come into play when we look at putting them into some of our words next week. But we will do some retrieval practice at the beginning of our next French lesson, where you are going to have a go at trying to remember what those new sounds are, okay? What I would do is make sure you rewatch this video to practice the sounds that we'd learnt last term, so you know all of the sounds from the beginning of our retrieval practice. So with those 8 and the additional new 5 now, you should now have 13 sounds that you should now know, and that's going to help us with our lesson, okay? Now, to recap right before the end, this was the answer to our question at the beginning. So we know that the H in our French words is actually a silent letter. Okay, so it's not a letter that they pronounce in the French language. Now, most French consonants at the end of a word are silent. We don't tend to pronounce them. They tend to just drop off the end. However, that rule does not apply to the letters C, L, F, and R. Okay, now we worked out this acronym to help us remember last time, Clear French Language Rules. So these are our clear French language rules because the C, F, L, and R are the only ones that go against that rule of dropping that consonant sound at the end. Okay, so well done if you remembered those. I know the H one's easier, but the C, F, L, R ones are a little bit harder to remember. So well done if you've got those. So there's no additional task for you to do apart from have a practice at those sounds, and I'm going to test you on those sounds next week, year 5. So get practicing. Good luck.